Hi, my name is Valerie, and today I'm going to talk about how I made a dog bed sheet for my dog's bed. So my dog has a Ninja extra large dog bed, which is basically a giant foam rectangle with a waterproof covering on it. Now the foam is kind of squishy and it's actually nice to lay on, but the covering itself is not exactly soft, so my dog doesn't exactly like to lay on this bed. So I was trying to think, like, how do I make this more appealing for her? Because if you put a blanket on the bed, she'll lay on the blanket, but she really doesn't like laying on the mattress itself. And if you put a blanket on there, the mattress cover is slippery and it can actually get tangled around her feet or slip right off, and it's just not appealing to anybody, really. So I was thinking, well, maybe if I made like a pillowcase, then I could put this pillowcase on there. It won't slip around so much. She can lay on it easier, and then it's easily removable, so then we can just throw it in the wash. So I went to Joann Fabrics because that's closest to me, and I was looking through the half off rack, and I was also looking at the ends of the bolt, because that sticker that's on there, not only does it tell you what it is and what it's made out of, but it also tells you, is it machine washable or is it dry clean only, which I think is kind of important because dogs get dirty, dogs get other things dirty, and if you can just remove it and put it in the wash, you won't have to spend a whole bunch of money bringing it to the dry cleaner instead. So I was looking and I finally found this beautiful fabric right here. It's actually really furry, as you can see. If I kind of move it in the opposite direction, you can see how furry that is, and it's really soft and smooth, but also it's a really thin fabric, which also is kind of important, especially if you have a really fuzzy, fluffy dog, because if they get too warm, they're not going to want to lay on something that makes them warmer. So this is going to hold some heat, and it's going to be soft, but it's not going to be too warm. And I thought that was really important for my dog, because even though she is a short-haired breed, my parents run the heater in the winter, and sometimes you just don't want to lay under a blanket if the heater is going. So when I brought my fabric home, I put it on the dog bed to test it out. So when it came to the width of the fabric, I measured it correctly, but I wrote down my numbers wrong. I wrote down 16 instead of 26, so it ended up not being able to reach all the way around. So I came to the conclusion that I would not be able to make a pillowcase style cover for this bed. So I ended up playing with the fabric a little bit, and I came up with a fitted sheet style dog bed, which has 4 inches of overhang on each side, so it will be able to grab onto the mattress without any problem. So I cut my first 2 corners, and then I hemmed across the width and the majority of the length on each side. For the inside of my corners, I simply folded it back and pinned it in place. That way I would only have to sew this area one time. I started by sewing up the corner to create the corner. Then I folded my overlap and pinned it in place on 3 sides. Then I sewed it on those 3 sides. I decided not to finish the 4th side just because I felt it wasn't completely necessary. You can certainly sew that if you wish. Then when you turn it inside out, it looks something like this. And when you have both those first 2 corners done, it should start to look like a fitted mattress sheet. Then make sure before you cut your second set of corners that you pull down that fabric by about 1 inch or so. That will help when the mattress is completed to just give a little bit of wiggle room so you can get it on and off. Then when you cut, hem, fold, and sew your second set of corners, you should have what looks like a fitted bed sheet on your dog bed. When you flip it over, it might billow out on the sides by a little bit, but it will not affect the ability of the sheet to cling to the dog bed, and it will be a nice, soft bed sheet. So I sewed this project by hand, but you most certainly can do it by machine. I hope that you are inspired to create your own dog bed cover and that your furry friends approve of the fabric you choose. Happy sewing and have a nice rest of your day.